slaughterer goes to slaughter, he has special training in killing the animal in the most painless way. He pronounces a prayer. He has to have that training and that piety so that he can do that act. And he feels bad when he kills this animal. But before Noah, people did not eat meat. But God granted Noah that concession to eat the meat because he saw how man was. Okay? But this slaughterer does take into consideration the way, you know, the animal feels before he kills him.
Right, the slaughterer feels bad, but in Krishna consciousness we don't do anything that makes us feel bad. Now also in the Bible, God gave man permission to eat meat because man had fallen into such a low state of sin that according to the Bible, the original plan of God was no meat. According to the Bible, in the first book of the Bible, when God created the world, he said, I give you the green things for food, and they shall be as meat for you. And later on, when man had fallen into a low depths of sin, he permitted meat eating. But Krishna consciousness is released from sin and living by God's original plan. Therefore, there is no necessity for eating meat.
But if I find God in my own religion, that means that I don't need Krishna, right?
Oh, God is Krishna. Of course, you cannot find God and not need Krishna.
No, but I'm saying if I worship him in my way...
But you must follow the injunctions to the letter. There can be no deviation. There can be no addition of your own thing to it.
But if I follow, let's say, my scripture the way it is, although Judaism is not according to the Bible, it's more Talmudic interpretation. But if I follow it, you know, the way it is said, that means that my scripture is as valid as your scripture.
Oh yes, we do not say that one scripture is more valid. What we do say is that the Vedic scriptures give more information about the nature of God. Now the test of any religion is how much is your religion teaching you to love God. And the test of developing love of God is a decrease in material desire. In order to love God, you must first of all learn to control your senses. You must become the master of your senses. You must not be pulled here and there by your senses, pulled here by your sex desire, pulled here by your tongue, pulled here by your eyes, pulled here by your ears. That person who is living like that, he cannot claim to have love of God, because when you have love of God, you become the master of your senses. And we see in all religious teachings, the saints have perfectly controlled their senses and not been led here and there by foolish desires. Sure.
We don't go to God simply because it's some kind of ordered duty, necessarily. We go to God because we're all seeking pleasure. And we try to find pleasure through material means, but these are short-lived. There's an end to that pleasure. Whereas the pleasure that we are actually seeking is eternally found with God. Is actually a joyful thing, not something we go to with a glum expression on our face, but we actually enjoy this relationship. This is a supreme enjoyment, an ecstasy, the kind of ecstasy we try to find in sex or in our occupations, so forth. But it can only be found in our true relationship as servants of God.
Well, actually, one who loves God cannot bear the suffering of another creature. Therefore, for one who is practicing fully love of God, there's no question of eating the flesh of slaughtered animals, because he cannot stand the suffering of even an ant. What to say of just ruthlessly killing animals just to satisfy his tongue. That's all. It's only for sense gratification.
I'd like to ask this one thing. What do you do during the day? What do you do for a living?
Okay, now we have many kinds of occupations. Of course, we support the movement also with our incense company, and some of us work there, and some of us are full-time preachers. The thing is that when you're fully engaged in working for God, you'll be provided for. If you're Christians, it's right in the New Testament also. If you're working for God, he will provide for you. You don't have to worry. He's real. Krishna is real. This is not some kind of an abstraction. So if you're working for Krishna, he's not a poor man. He owns everything. If you work for any boss, he will pay your wages and see that you have enough to live on. So that if you're working for God, he will also see that you have enough to live on. There are so many things that can be done. We can work. We have homes. We have families. We have children. We even have our own school in Dallas.
How long have you been in this religion?
Me personally?
Yeah,
8 years.
How many?
8 years.
8 years. And what, were you any religion before you became into this Hare Krishna movement?
Well, I was raised Jewish.
You were raised Jewish?
Right, but I wasn't following it at the time.
You weren't following. Did you ever try to get into it like you did?
Oh, yes, when I was much younger, yes. I was very curious about it.
I don't understand what made you believe in this so much that you would shave your head and paint your face, that the same God couldn't offer you as a Jew?
Because nobody was teaching me what was God. And when I met my spiritual master, His divine grace, he showed me what was God. So then there was nothing to do but follow Him. Because it's not the case you follow a religion, but when somebody can show you who is God, then you will not worry about this religion or that religion. Because the goal of all religion is God. Therefore, if you meet a spiritual teacher who can show you what is God and how you can come in contact with Him, then you will be satisfied in every respect. And you will not want to look anywhere else. Once you have some idea of what is God, you will be completely satisfied. Your life will be a perfect success.
Why do you need this man to go through God? Can't you go through to yourself? You believe in Him, or do you believe...
You cannot go by yourself, because by yourself, if we could go to God by ourselves, we would already be there. But we don't know. We're lost in ignorance now. That's why. Otherwise, we would already be with God.
But how could one man be above all the rest?
Exactly.
Because he